Hi, Mitch Argon here with Affordability. Welcome back. We're going to take you through the greater Reno, Tahoe real estate market in just a few moments. Okay, let's get started. Like in prior month, we'll start with the median price. As you can see, we have not had a low median price in this market correction cycle that we're in. Across the board, you're seeing probably the average is around 10% of a correction from where we were a year ago in May of 2022. Approximately May, June, July of last year represented the peak in the market pricing. And so these numbers have been slightly higher in some prior months, but we're starting to see some modest price appreciation come back into the market. And so it's looking like we're probably going to be settling down on a year-over-year basis in terms of this correction from where we are now, probably about 10% off from where we were a year ago. On a month-by-month basis, what you see here is stable pricing for some time, and you're starting to see some modest price increases. So if you come back and look at this blue line, which represents Reno, which is the top row in the table below, we were back up in here in the 630, 635 range middle of last year. That had come down and stabilized through here, but you can see we're starting to show a little bit of a slight or modest price increase trend. That's true in a number of the markets. Some of them are still moving around a little bit, but I think that based on the dynamics that we see in our markets, prices are stable to modestly increasing at this point. In terms of affordability, we're a little bit higher this month than we were last month on this chart here. The thing to keep in mind here when we're looking at home affordability is also what are rents right now. And rents have gone up quite a bit. And so that high increase that we've seen in rents is still making home buying a good alternative, even at these mortgage rates. And that's partially what we're seeing now. Probably the bigger challenge is beyond affordability is having the resources to put down a down payment down, because this chart here is based on a 20% down payment, and that's on a 570 loan. So you're talking, $120,000 a down payment is a pretty significant chunk to save certainly for a first-time home buyer. Okay, we talked on pricing. If we look at homes sold, you can see we got kind of a mix in through here. I would expect that we'll see this again start to stabilize out as the volume. We were at kind of peak volumes last year at this time, but as we move into the second half of the year and that volume came down as the interest rates rose, and we're seeing things still moving along pretty well, we'll probably see a pretty close comparative on homes sold on a year-over-year basis through the second half of this year. Month supply of inventory over here on the far right. Pretty stable. I'll show you a chart here on this on a month-by-month basis. This again is a primary determinant as to whether we're in a buyer's market or a seller's market. We technically never did enter into a buyer's market through this price correction. These numbers remained low, which would put us in seller's market territory, and they still are low today. You can see here we're probably 1.8 to a little over 2. The Tahoe market at 7.8 is a very different set of dynamics and characteristics as a very small and second home market. So I wouldn't put a whole lot of stock in that being a strong seller's market or strong buyer's market. But the primary markets in the region are right around 2 months of inventory. And if you look at the table down below, you can see that you would need to be under 4 months as a seller's market, and over 6 months as a buyer's market. So we're still pretty solidly in seller market territory, even with the price correction that we've had. Looking at this on a month-by-month basis, again, this is month supply of inventory. You can see that we're fairly horizontal through here, fairly stable. And this will probably stay pretty much what we see right now. I don't see anything on the near-term horizon that will push this to go substantially higher. You can see it was pushed up higher during this market correction last year, but even with that those higher numbers that we saw, we were still in seller market territory. Even though it felt like a buyer's market because the change was happening very quickly, the metrics still kept us in seller market territory. Okay, if we look at home units for sale or inventory, We are starting to see a little bit of inventory climb coming into the spring months. It was delayed this year. Hard to tell if it was because of weather or if it was because of the people being locked into their interest rates and their current home phenomenon. But we've seen some rise. However, it is still not trending up at a really high rate, and so inventory remains fairly tight. For home buyers, there's just not as many selections as they may like. For home sellers, there's not as much competition as they could have potentially, and those factors together is part of what's keeping the pricing stable to having that modest increase. So quick recap, pricing, stable and modest price increases like we've seen. We are coming off of some of the recent lows. If you go back and look at those charts in this video or in the report, and inventory remains low, as I mentioned. So we've got a tight market. The markets are very responsive to changes in interest rates, changes in inventory, and we are getting tighter because on a weekly basis, as we monitor these trends on a week-by-week basis, we are consistently seeing more homes going under contract than new listings hitting the market. The net effect is a tightening of inventory, and that is what's keeping that pricing in check, as I had mentioned. Okay, I hope this has been useful for you. The Greater Reno Tahoe Real Estate Report, I think it's close to 40 pages of charts and graphs breaking down details by each market in our region, is available from the link below. So click that link if you want more details. If you like this video, please share it out. Please subscribe if you'd like. We publish this once a month. Until next month, thank you for your time, and make it a great day. Thank you.